between the two rhythms you just heard? Well, they were played at a steady pace. The first one was played with notes at the speed of eighth notes. 2 notes per beat. Playing notes out of the G scale. I'm just kind of making these up as for no particular reason, but we're going to take a look at an exercise that I have here, another little Caruli thing, a triplet exercise in C major that helps you work on the difference between playing eighth notes and playing triplet eighth notes. Now, a triplet in the first place is just 3 notes squeezed in the amount of time that 2 would get according to the time signature. And so when I played that little phrase at first, I was playing a pinch and another note on the and of that beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. But the second time around, I played the notes in groups of 3s, but the speed of the bass notes was the same. So we heard this. And that was breaking those same beats, those same quarter note beats, into 3 parts rather than 2. Now there are a lot of songs that have, and you probably played some of them, that have have this triplet feel, whether it's written as triplets or not. Romanza would be one. We're hearing a melody note at the speed of quarter notes, and each of those beats is subdivided into thirds. That's a little 3-note pattern. You'll hear some things that feel like triplets, but they're not according to the time signature. Now we're feeling beats in Jesu there, and each of those the beats would be the slower beats that I'd be tapping. Each of those is divided into 3 parts. Let me try it again. Da, 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 da. That's the triplet feel. Now, when I played that little pattern at the beginning, I played eighth notes, and the next time played it as triplets. Da, 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 da. So the little short piece that we have here has an example of a measure played with 4 triplets, da 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 da, and then 4 pairs of eighth notes, da 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 da. So a good way this is a great way to kind of understand the difference, and it really can take some practice to start with a steady beat. We've got the metronome set here at 86. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Now I could just play eighth notes. Just play an open G and B. Now, if I want to try to break that into thirds or triplets, I would keep my pace there, but now I'd have to play 2 notes after every one of those. Back to eighths. Back to triplets. So that's a great place to start with just getting the drill sort of going. Then take a look at this piece that consists of a measure of triplets and then a measure of eighth notes, really just running through some scales, and the triplets are arpeggios of chords in the key of C as well. So take your time, take a look at the music, and work your way through it first. In the next segment, I'll work through it with you. Let's take a look at the music and kind of scope out what we have coming up before we worry too much about trying to play it. Taking a look at the first measure, we see we should have put ourselves in the key of C by playing a C scale. I just stayed in first position there, not bothering to finish it up here because none of the notes that we're going to see in this get that high. We have some arpeggios, especially in the first measure, and well, every other measure we notice is going to be a 4-string arpeggio where we've got a bass note and then probably all of the rest of the notes are on the top 3 strings. Yep. So all the arpeggio measures, we'll see your 3 fingers will be up on strings 1, 2, and 3, and then your thumb's going to play a bass note that then continues to ring over the other 5 notes of the triplet arpeggio. We notice in the second measure we've got a bass note and then more following a scale. So it looks like our left hand is not really going to move in the first measure. We're just going to put down some notes of the chord, and now we want to start thinking about what chords are those.